So a few things to go through today before we really get into this. Um, so one, happy Father's Day to people who are celebrating that, to fathers and to folks who still have fathers. I hope everybody has an amazing day. And if you are not one of those people, I hope you have a day that is full of happy memories. And that if you are missing somebody, I really hope that you can spend some time reflecting and just being present with all the wonderful components of grief and loss, which is really an important part of how we live. So don't be afraid to embrace that. The other thing I want to say, of course, is June. We're partway through June, but happy Pride. It's such an important kind of month of the year. Again, just acknowledging without judgment that we have so many more rights here in Canada. And also it's just really nice that we're evolving and getting to a point in life where people can just be who they are and be with whom they want to be with. And that whether you are part of that community or an ally, that you can just really embrace it. I get to work with an organization locally called Valley Pride, and I'm so lucky to have that as part of my world. So I'm always grateful for that. I'm excited about Pride and all the fun that goes with that. And as we are partway through June, likely these classes are going to wind down as we hit July. And August, we will definitely be taking a break. But then I hope to be back in September, as long as everybody wants to keep going, or at least a handful of people, because I know the dogs would like to continue. So I hope people will want to join me. Let's ground into the space. I mentioned earlier, I had a beautiful walk this morning with Karen down to the harbor, which means I'm a little bit more warmed up. So if I'm getting further into postures than maybe you feel comfortable with, back off. Really respect how you feel today in your practice. So close your eyes. Go within yourself. And sense the space around you. Take a moment and listen. What are you hearing? What are you smelling? What are you feeling? Where are your emotions today? How do you come to the practice? How do you step onto your mat this morning? Acknowledge that maybe you're tired. I know I probably had one too many gin last night. The benefit of having a Sunday morning class. Sometimes you feel those bad decisions. But how are you feeling? Sleepy, well rested, uplifted, or again, maybe you're feeling the loss, missing somebody today. It's all good. As you continue to breathe deeply, just tuck the chin into the chest. And then slowly bring your head up and back, rolling the shoulders, opening up through the chest. So if your jaw is slack, take a more kind of formal approach to this and slowly close the jaw. Feel that stretch. And drop your shoulders away from the ears. Bring the head back, shoulders roll. You can open your eyes and let's rub the hands together to warm them. And then place the palms over your eyes, let the fingers wrap over your head and hold it here for a moment, blocking out the external world. Go within yourself and find something to be grateful for. I have a long list. I've been on vacation this week. I've had so many wonderful friends visiting. I'm just overwhelmed with feelings, blessings, and just grateful for abundance and laughter. And then slowly wipe your eyes, stretch the arms out to the side. Palms start to push out towards the walls beside you. Stretch here. They start to lengthen. So throughout our practice today, think about creating space. So pulling between 2 points, opening up, and then slowly start to move those hands towards the back body, lifting the chest up. Maybe the head comes back a little bit, or maybe the chin tucks to the chest. Find the stretch that works for you. Keep breathing. Bring your head back to a neutral position. Soften the arms. Let them fall down. Fingertips to one side. One arm reaches up, reach, 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 reach. Again, hip is pushing down, arm is lifting up. Create a space through side body. And then crossing the midline. And all the way up, roll the shoulder down, other side, fingertips touch, reaching up, stretching here, reaching up, pushing down, crossing the midline. One of the nicest reasons to create space is because space becomes possibility. It becomes that blank canvas where anything is possible. Speaking of anything being possible, here is Kevin. Let's stretch up and roll the shoulder down. Hey, Kevin. We'll see if he moves past his current spot. Roll your shoulders. And pull them forward. And then let's move on to the hands and knees. I'm taking my cue from Kevin this morning, and I'm going to make sure that I appreciate this beam of sunlight that's coming through the window. It's just amazing, these simple things, feeling the difference in temperature between this and this, so between light and dark. And just fueling up. Take a moment and just kind of start to sway from side to side, adding a little bend or twist through the hips. Let your head drop. And lots of nice deep breath. Enjoy some cat-cow, head and tail lift. And then exhale, arching the back, grounding, really pushing up. Inhale, head and tail lift. Exhale, rounding. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, rounding. Good. So from here, make circles with your butt. So kind of circle around. Keep the core tight while you're doing this. Increase the range of motion as much as you're comfortable with. And then switching to the other side, starting small. Getting bigger. Good. Ease back into a child's pose. Slide the hands forward. Let any tightness in the low back start to release. Pull your hands back, lifting up, rolling up, roll the shoulders down, and then just pop onto your butt. Bring the soles of your feet together. You might want to make sure that your ankle bones are protected. Hi, Teddy. So they've got the mat here. And let's sit up nice and tall. Core is pulled up and back, shoulders are down. I'm going to start by holding on to, I would hold on to both ankles, but one hand is busy here, giving Teddy some cuddles. So once you have your hands in place, see if you can wiggle the bum a little bit closer to the feet. It's going to increase the stretch. And just notice the intensity, notice the sensations. And then we're going to add a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a butterfly wing flap here. Breathe deeply. This may or may not be comfortable. If it's not comfortable, you don't have to do it. See if you can increase the range of motion. I'm immediately feeling all the muscles that I don't normally use. And again, a little bit more with the range of motion. Grab the outer edges of the knees, pull them together, feet slide forward a little bit, and just round over. And as you breathe deeply, sink the head. Stretch out your toes. Let's pull the hands up and back, roll your shoulders, And then we're going to start to think about coming up to a standing posture. And if any of this is a challenge for you, you can just kind of make your way up to standing. What I'm going to do is pull back one foot and then the other. I'm just going to hoist myself up here. I'm coming into a little bit of a frog pose. I'm comfortable with flat feet. If you're not, don't push yourself, not yet. And I'm just wiggling around here. I'm holding on to my big toes, and then I'm going to come to a forward fold. So just holding on to those big toes, I start to push up through my bum, straightening the legs, and letting my head hang forward. So soften into this posture as much as you can. Your upper body needs to surrender, which is hard because the legs and the hamstrings are usually using some choice language at this time. Maybe sway around a little bit, bend one knee, then the other. You release your arms and maybe walk to one side. And then the other side. Come back to center. Tighten through the core and then slowly, really rounding the back, start to come up. And it's like I'm pulling energy up. Root to rise, we pull it up. And then we push it above the head, looking up. Straightening the legs, leaning back, big jazz hands, and then stretching out. Roll your shoulders and step into a mountain pose. So for mountain, I like to start with really acknowledging the feeling and the feedback I'm getting from my feet. Toes are spread, arch is lifted, and then I'm kind of energizing and tightening up through the legs, straightening. My natural stance is a little bit of a bent knee because I always have tight hamstrings. So I want to stretch up into this. Tail is tucked under, and that's held in place by pulling up and back through the core. Shoulders have dropped down, arms are facing forward, hands are facing forward. Chest lifts, shoulders drop away from the ears. Long neck. Deep breath. Sweep your arms up and do a warrior one thing. Roll the shoulders in, lengthening here, pulling up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands together and then leaning into one side. All the way back to standing, lengthening here, and then to the other side. All the way up. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release the hands, swoosh down, and then power up. So that's our in-breath, exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, surrender. Inhale. Lengthen, hold. Bring the hands together and lean to one side. Normal breath. All the way to the other side. Normal breath. up to the tallest point you can get to. Slow, deep breath in. Blow it out, flop forward. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Once more, exhale. Inhale. Roll your shoulders down. And as you're doing this, start to lift your left leg up, or whichever leg you're comfortable starting with. Grab a hold of that knee, pull it up as high as you can go. Keep the breath deep. I'm going to use my opposite hand to hold on to that ankle. I'm going to try to not tumble forward. Okay. So we're doing a little bit of a gentle standing pigeon, not pulling it all the way up to the hip bone. We're just kind of holding in place with your arm lengthened, maybe a tiny bit of softness in the elbow. And I'm actually going to change how I'm holding my foot. I'm going to cup it and kind of hold it from the other angle here. Good. If your supporting leg is bent like mine was, straighten it up, tight through the core, shoulders drop, hand to the heart, get your breath. And then sweep that arm up, lengthen here. Really straighten that supporting leg. This is a hard posture. Breathe a lot. We're going to release that leg, try and hold the knee, pull it back in. Thank God for the wall. And dropping. It all made so much sense in my head. Oh my goodness. Let's go again. Nice deep breaths. And let's try the other leg. Pulling up. Starting here, deepen your breath. And then slowly dropping that foot. Hand to the heart. Let's sweep the arm up, lengthen on that supporting leg, pulling up through the arm, trying to hold this in place. It's a tough one. It's tough for muscles, tough for balance. Now the challenging part, see if you can bring that knee back up. And releasing, nice. Bring your feet apart. Take some deep breaths, soft shoulders. Good. Bring your feet further apart. Shoulders roll down. My pants are also rolling down, so I'm going to pull them up. You're welcome. Sorry, Jeff. Relocate, buddy. All right, so we're going to go through a little bit of work kind of around the triangle pose, but we're going to approach this in kind of a gentle, kind of lazy-ish way. Please be mindful as we're in triangle and kind of extending up, so from the ground kind of coming up as opposed to coming down. Be mindful of balance. This can be challenging. Do what you're comfortable with. And if you start to tumble, have a wall handy or something like that. All right. So let's start by sweeping up. Lengthening. I'm adding a little bit of a wiggle, almost like you're trying to get that cork out of a bottle of bubbly. Just a little wiggle, a little shimmy. And then exhale, slowly start to swan dive. Looking down, finding the mat with your fingertips. And hold here with your straight arms. So my hands are a little bit forward from the feet. And then very slowly start to drop your head. Maybe have the hands shoulder width apart. And if it's comfortable, as you can sink deeper into this forward fold, start to soften through the elbows. Keep the legs straight. I'm going to lift back up onto my fingertips. I'm going to open up through my left foot, and then I'm going to start to walk my hands towards that left foot. So think about that triangle alignment with the feet. And then keeping the legs straight. I've got my left hand on the ground, left foot on the ground. And then I'm going to start to move my right arm up, but I'm moving through my elbow. So just starting to open up only with an elbow, looking up towards the ceiling. Hold for 2 or 3 breaths. Slowly bringing the hand back down. We walk to the other side. Switch your foot or your feet as we go. Right hand by the right foot. Legs are straight. And again, left elbow starts to lift. Opening, looking up. This is a big stretch. Hold and breathe. Coming down, walking to center. Feet are both straight now. Hands are on the floor. Start with straight arms, drop the head. Press into the outer edges of your feet and soften through your elbows as you sink into this posture. Big breath. Walk your way back to the left side, opening up through that foot. And again, we lead with the right elbow, starting to open this a little bit into a very lazy triangle. And then moving back towards the floor, coming across to the other side, switching up those feet. And then left elbows coming up into the air, twisting back. Coming down. Walking to center. Once more, palms on the mat, drop the head, start to sink in through the elbows. If you're feeling comfortable, you could bring your hands behind the ankles. And then release the hands, start to roll up. All the way up. Shoulders roll back. Hold and breathe. Keeping your legs where they are, add a little softness in the knees, and allow your body to kind of sway over to one side. We're going to bring the arms softly up, coming over top of the head, and nice and controlled down on the other side, back to center. Imagine you're holding on to like a big ball or something here, so elbows are a little soft. Then we start to go the other way, coming up, opening, breathing as much as you need, and really notice through this range of motion where the tight spots are, then come back down. reverse your direction. Add any twists that feel good, and when you come up, lift up. Great space, and then we come down. Coming back up the other way. And coming down. Reverse swan dive, lifting up. Connect those hands. Bring your hands back to the heart. And release them good. Bring the feet together. One of the reasons why I wanted to go through that kind of triangle piece with you is because often when we do the triangle, we're coming down and we have our hand kind of mid-calf, and then we open up, which is a really interesting stretch. But by approaching it the way we did this morning, with hand on the floor and then just opening up through using that elbow, you're getting a different stretch through the pectorals back into the shoulder. And it's kind of a neat way to take an old pose and make it into something new. So it's probably more challenging. It might not be as comforting, but if it felt good to you, think about coming back to that in your own practice. And I'll try and insert that again over the next few weeks. We're going to come back now to the flow that we've done all the time over the past month or so. And I'm obsessed with this flow. This is what I do when I get up in the morning and have a few moments, or if it's crappy out and I don't want to go for a walk. It's so complete with everything it does for the body. But today we're going to hold each piece a little bit longer. And I want you to kind of go within yourself and find ways to expand, lengthen, and stretch your body apart. Because as this posture and all of these postures and this combination becomes more familiar and more comfortable, that's when you can tweak it. So today it's about lengthening and stretching. Let's start at the top of the mat. Hands to the heart. And we're going to be adding a humble warrior into this probably by the second round. Sweep up. Again, think about stretching the arms as much as you can, connecting the hands up to the head and pulling up. And then swan dive. Swan dive like you are in the Olympics. Touch the floor, drop your head. Couple of breaths. Tighten through your core, float up to a flat back, shoulders roll away. You feel your hips pulling back, straighten those legs. Fold forward. Hold. I lift up to my fingertips here, and I'm going to step my right foot way back. And I'm going to open it a little bit, as in a little bit wider than hip width apart. Lift up to your toe base and sink into a lunge, looking forward. See if that knee will wiggle into your armpit. And pull back through your hip. Get a little bit lower to the ground here. Good. Drop the back foot, so you're opening it up on an angle, and then with all of your strength and grace, take a breath in as you lift up into a warrior two, and right away stretching out. Big hands, big possibilities. The front leg is externally rotating, that knee's going towards that pinky toe. Nothing is gonna stop you now. Drop the back arm, reaching for the sky and then pulling down the legs. See what happens when you do this. Can you create more space in the side body? And then bring your arms back down towards that front foot. Straighten the back foot. Move into a downward facing dog. Your hips are moving up towards that place where the wall and the ceiling meet. Create space along the spine. Walk your hands back. Roll up, grabbing energy as you go, your root to rise. Reaching up, looking up, big hands, and then sweep them down. Hands to the heart. My left foot comes out on an angle, right foot steps way forward. And again, your feet, the leg alignment here can be a little bit wider. And sink into that front knee. The moment I come into this lunge, I realize that I need more space in that back hip flexor. So I'm going to sink deeper to see if I can create it. And while I do that, I pull up and back through the core to support that low back. I'm going to sweep my arms up. Again, big hands, rolling the shoulders in. Everything is strong. Slowly bring your hands to the heart. You have an option to step into warrior 3 here, or you can sweep that back leg through and just stand or move into the tree. I'm going to attempt to fit into warrior 3. I'm going to bring my feet together, sweep up, connect those hands, lengthening, and then swan dive down. Touching the floor, drop the head. Up to your flat back. Again, lengthen through the legs. Now I'm applying pressure, stretching here. Hands to the floor, drop your head. Folding in, maybe wrapping around behind. And then when you're ready, left foot steps way back, landing on the toe base. Nice and active. Take this front hip with the leg that's kind of still forward and pull that hip back a little bit. See how that shifts. Then I'm going to drop my back heel, opening up through that foot. And then on an in-breath, powering up to warrior 2. Remember to keep that front leg opening to the side. Deepen your breath and just become that heavy breather. Drop your backhand, reaching up to the ceiling or the sky. Sinking in even deeper here to your lunge, and then arms back forward, steps to down dog. Lots of deep breaths. Hands walk back to the feet. I'm walking back a little bit further here. And then rolling up, root to rise. Bringing everything to the heart. Right foot steps out on an angle, left foot forward. Even out those hips and then sink in. Again, I'm feeling this tightness in that back hip flexor. So I'm going to create more space for myself. Sweep your arms up. Bring your hands to the heart. Again, you can either step that back leg forward, so you can just kind of come up like this, or move into a tree, or you can extend back to warrior three. Feet come together, folding forward, sweeping up. Hands to the heart. Sweep up. Picking up the speed here. Exhale, swan dive. Touch the floor. Up to a flat back. Touching the floor. Right foot back. From your lunge, walk your hands out to the right hand side as far as you can go. Pushing into the left hip, drop your head. Maybe the right heel comes right down to the mat. Enjoy this stretch. Deep breaths. Walk your hands back. We're going to skip the warrior two, move right into down dog. Walk your hands back. Root to rise, rolling up, throwing that energy up into the sky, sweeping the hands down, hands to the heart. Take more deep breaths. Left foot out, right foot forward. Sink into your lunge, the foundation of your warrior one. Add the arms. And again, you choose what's next. Either bring the leg forward or move into the tree, or move into a warrior three. Lots of deep breath. Bring feet together, sweeping up. Connect the hands and then swan dive. Flat back. Hands come down. Right foot back this time. Oops, wrong. Left foot back. Psych. Left foot back. I'm going to walk my hands to the left hand side as far as I can, pushing into my right hip, dropping the left heel. Humble warrior. Back to your center, straightening out, down dog in it. Walk your hands back. Root to rise as you roll up, stretching. Hands to the heart. Right foot out on an angle, left foot forward, sinking in to that lunge. I'm twisting here because I need more space in my back. add the arms. And then hands to the heart. You figure out what comes next. Be bold, be you. I'm gonna be leaning on, on a piece of furniture. My balance is not good today. And that is just fine. Bring the feet together, sweeping up, nice and tall. Forward fold. Flat back. Folding forward. Sweeping up. And hands to the heart. And releasing, good. Yeah, my balance is, well, as expected, as I said, maybe a little bit too much gym last night. Which is an easy thing to fix. Come on down to the mat, please join me. I'm just gonna shift my camera. All right. All the way down to the back. And just wiggling into the mat. Hello, Kevin. Add a little bit of a windshield washer action through your hips as you just connect with the floor. A little bit of a massage for the low back. And if it's comfortable and you have the space, maybe the legs start to drop closer to the floor as you go side to side. Bring your feet back closer to the bum, knees are hip width apart. Arms are gonna rest at your side. I'm gonna get back on my mat here. And I'm actually going to hold on to the sides of my mat. If you don't have a mat, don't worry about it. Just place your hands on the floor. Take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to peel the hips off the floor, pushing up. And if you have a mat to hold on to, just use it to push yourself up even more. Make sure your knees aren't flopping open. Notice where you feel the stretch. Keep the breath deep. If you want to go further, you can come up to the toes. Three more breaths. Start to release this as slowly as you can. Sinking back. Notice how you feel now that you are back on the mat. And take a very slow, leisurely kind of pull back on your left knee and stretch out your right leg.
And then switch to the other side. Release that leg. If it's comfortable, stay on the back. Stretch out into your Shavasana. Hold and breathe. If this is not comfortable, constructive rest. Feet to the outer edges of the mat, knees resting against each other. Whatever you choose, close your eyes, deepen the breath, and reflect. As you deepen your breath, start to bring some motion back into your body. So even if it's just stretching your fingers and your toes or moving your head from shoulder to shoulder. And take a huge stretch, reaching your arms up over top of the head, stretching out your legs. And add in anything else that you need, because you are the expert in your life and what you need and what will feel good. And then grab a hold of your knees, give yourself a hug. And move up to a seated posture when you're feeling good and ready. The breath nice and deep, keep it flowing. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Think of one thing that you can kind of generate some gratitude for. For me, it's easy. I'm really grateful that no dog pooped on a yoga mat during today's practice. Small mercies. Oh. But there's more than that to be grateful for. So hold that in your heart. Let that guide you through the days ahead. And I thank you so much for making the effort to
get all logged in, do the class, commit to the time, and to create space in your world for you to do something that will help everything get a little bit easier. Today's class was really physical, drink lots of fluids, magnesium is great, maybe another hot shower, anything to just keep the body in that state of stretched out relaxation. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Namaste.